Welcome back to the episode. Always give you all a friendly reminder, like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Coming to you today, this September 2nd. We are one game into Michigan's football season. We are on the cusp of our Lions kicking it off in Green Bay Sunday afternoon. So yeah, we're gonna do what our typical podcast look like this time of the year. Just do a little review of the games from the prior week, previous weekend, and then a little bit of a preview around what we think is going to happen in the next game. So start off with Michigan, played New Mexico. Um, yeah, handled them pretty well. Good game overall. Bryce did some great stuff. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to you and just let you just talk about it a little bit to start here. What your thoughts were against Michigan playing against New Mexico this past weekend.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of those things where it's just the anticipation of the season is always high, anticipation of what Bryce could do. Kind of the second go around for Sharon Moore. So just kind of all of that, all the players we've heard about throughout the offseason, the Justice Hayes, kind of all of that coming to the forefront on a night game on Saturday. So, I was hype about it. And I would say Bryce Underwood did not disappoint. Very very stout first game. I would say just knowing our Michigan offense, yeah, you'll probably catch a freshman that can have some ridiculous stats like an Oregon freshman every couple of years, whoever somebody like that, they might have 400 yards, 390 in their first game or something. But at Michigan, where we run more or less like a accelerated pro style offense, it is that 250 is very very healthy number. He looks surgical. You could see the arm talent. You could see just kind of the beginnings of the masteries of the offense where he's I've watched the compilation of his just his passes on YouTube probably 4 or 5 times, and you can watch him make reads. You can watch him kind of direct traffic around. So all that's positive signs. Justice Hayes, complete stud, exactly as advertised. Um, and I'm just excited for that. The offensive line looked pretty solid. I would say Bryce Underwood looked very solid, standing tall in that pocket. They held up pretty well for him. I think probably I would have to go back and look. I won't say 2 sacks comes to mind. And just
I
kind of
think one of
one,
those is kind of like
yeah, just kind of Bryce running around, kind of trying to make things happen a little bit, which I'm not mad at. You gotta stay healthy. You gotta protect the ball first and foremost. Also, so I think he is advertised. A couple other players I want to give shout outs to is a good one. Wide receiver number 9. Guy,
mhm.
I'll be honest, I was not familiar with him, but I think we're gonna quickly be familiar with his game. He had the big pass right before halftime, the 39-yard gain. He had a couple other good snags. Looked him up, sophomore out of North Carolina. I think he'll be a pretty focal point in that offense.
I think he went to school with Jaden Davis.
Okay.
And he kind of looking like a little bit like DPJ out there.
He did actually. When he got that ball, he looked like he sped up to like 1.5. he
Yeah,
he got shot out of the cannon. So I think he'll he'll be fun to watch and just kind of grow. So I'm not going to talk too much time, but a couple things we do need to clean up. But overall, I would say a pretty solid game. Kind of what were your thoughts?
yeah. No, I echo a lot of that. I think really it's impressed across the board. The products looked. I was in the building for that first game last year, and I can tell you, it's night and day difference from what we all kind of witnessed together back then, compared to opening night this time around. And we hit on the head. I won't take too much, with Bryce. I won't ramble on about him too much. You hit it on the head quite a bit. Look in complete control. Just impressed. Did my expectations? They've been low. They're gonna stay low. Just not, he's a freshman. Figured that he wouldn't. He might have a little bit of trouble, but he looked in complete control. Um, your running game, that's something that, looked vastly improved from last year, especially with Haynes. Looking to have Marshall, get it going. Later on in the season as things go on. Um, but I just think like you look at this box score, man. I think the defense is keeping it pretty vanilla. You know, 267 total yards that New Mexico had on 76 plays. And I mean, they got eight, I think like 8 plays within the five and like still scored on fourth down. Like I mean, the defense is playing stout, making them earn everything. I think they just all look comfortable in a new, um, or in a not so new system anymore. It was the second year, everybody's been through Wing Martindale. So I
Right.
thought that was a good, positive. And yeah, I mean, I think some people kind of forgot about the score and all that, but I just feel like this is what Michigan does. I mean, it's kind of get up on a team and it's kind of like run the clock out and get out of there safe. And I feel like that was just a perfect example this past Saturday of them just clicking on all cylinders and doing just enough and not just enough in a bad way, but just doing what they need to do to get the job done and just moving
Right.
on to the next week.
And I'll take this, and we can kind of wrap up this game and roll it into the next one. I think it'd be a perfect segue. I would I like what I see as far as quarterback development from Bryce too. We mentioned before we hopped on to how he probably in the we probably could have got away with having maybe 10 less passes in that game. There's a couple of times where I think we were forced into issue a little bit. We wanted them to get comfortable. We wanted them to get looks. Uh, we just kind of build that confidence up. So I think leaning to that a little bit. There was a time where it was 4th and 2. The only fourth down we went for, we put the ball in his hands in a pass play at that, and we were unsuccessful. But I think just trying to manufacture plays that matter a little bit. So the first time he needs to attempt a fourth down pass is not on the road in Oklahoma next week. Whether successful or not, he has one round under his belt. If this was college football 26, the lines are squiggling a little less. He has a little more awareness as far as that goes. So I like that development on that. And I think just in this upcoming Oklahoma game, big time matchup on the road. This is why you're a Michigan fan. This is why if you're Bryce or if you're any of the other guys that recently signed with us, why you come to Michigan. You're going to play big time games. This is beginning of a series, I believe, with them. They're going to come to our house next year, and or maybe the year after that. I think we go to I think Texas, and then the year after that Oklahoma. So we got a little series
Alternate.
thing going. Yeah. So, but no, I guess I just want to open the floor to you. What are your thoughts on heading in this Stillwater, Oklahoma? I'll give a little more background story on this. This is only the second time we'll ever play. First time we played it is in 1976,
Yeah.
and Michigan took a 14-6 loss. And this is two blue blood programs. So this, when you think about it
That's
from that point of
crazy.
view,
Like not
yeah.
no bowl game or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and I think overall it's a good test. Like you said, this is what you're a Michigan fan for. Um, didn't get a chance to watch any of their game, but did catch some highlights. Watch some highlights around really the guy that I think we're gonna have to, yeah, the guy that we're gonna have to worry about and neutralize as soon as possible. John Mateer. I mean, I think he's literally they're already calling him. He's got the Johnny Manziel type nickname. Like they call him like Johnny. Oh, they call him something else besides Johnny Football, but he's got that going already. He had a big year last year at Washington State. He came over with his coordinator as well, to Oklahoma. So he's about as comfortable as a quarterback can be this time of year. Um, to where it's just like curious to see what Wink Martindale have to do to stop him. But you think, I know I brought up quite a bit in the past. Wink Martindale, I mean, he used to play or practice against Lamar Jackson. I'm sure you've seen Michael Vick. Sure, he's seen a lot of these quarterbacks in the NFL that are a lot more elite than what he sees any given Saturday. So I imagine he's going to have a plan. I think it's going to be overall a game where you know defense going to have to really set the tone for us. Um, I don't know what we're going to expect from Bryce. I'm just going to kind of keep my expectations, at a minimum, but also assume that running game that's going to be something we lean on heavy. And like we kind of talked about before we hopped on, I think it's really going to be just battle in the trenches. We can see if we
Right.
can be a more physical team, which I think, we're definitely built, to be the most physical team. I think, we got a little bit more in the trenches than them and should be able to hang or
Yeah.
dominate, whatever that looks like.
No, I'm gonna second a lot of that. I think that quarterback. I looked at his stats up last year. I
Ridiculous.
mean, they were phenomenal last year. 3,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks, 800 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns. Um, yeah. So, I guess he kind of does have a Johnny Manziel vibe, about the same size, also from Texas. So, um, but with that being said, I think a lot of this will be one in the trenches. Like it comes down to any old fashioned football game. I think we will come in with a little bit of a different game plan than what we look like offensively in week one. I think we were
Yeah.
very vanilla on both offense and defense, as you mentioned. So I think we will open it up, and also it's going to be weird because I think we will open it up when we do pass. It will look slightly different. I think we'll work in wrinkles that we didn't show in week one, but I also think we will rely more on the run. In that New Mexico game, damn, I just had all that pulled up, but I lost it. In that New Mexico game, 31 passes, 32 rushes. So assuming we get around that 60, 65, maybe 70 play mark in that ballpark. I want to see healthy doses of, let's say mid 30 on rushes, about 20, 22 passes. And what we need from Bryce is, we don't need 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. We need that timely third down conversions. We need to, if you can put together end of the half drive like you did last time. I obviously we want touchdowns, but hey, doing that, sneaking out with a field goal, can be the life or death situation on winning a big game on the road like that. So I think that's what I'm looking for is just kind of controlling that line of scrimmage. And as far as this quarterback here, um, finding ways to obviously contain him. If he's going to run loose, we have to make sound tackles. So maybe if it's a 2 yard pop when he leaves the pocket, not a 30 yard pop. Just and find ways to murky the water as far as that goes. And I think they're going to be kind of all gas, no brakes. I think they're going to want to try to move the ball, try to apply pressure on us up that way. So I think that leaves opportunities for us to get the ball, turnovers, steal possessions that way, and kind of make it more of our game where we can, it's it's 10-7. We got the lead. They throw a pick. We go down and get a field goal just to steal that one. And then we're kind of playing that game with them as well. Yeah. So I honestly, I am nervous, but I think it's gonna. I think I look at that Texas game, and I don't think they're as good as that Texas team was last year. And I think we are probably no less than an equivalent team than we were last year.
If
I
not, I
think that
mean,
Texas game we lost like what 30-14 or 30-21 or
like
something like that.
31-17 or something like
Yeah.
that.
So I
Yeah.
think I think with that is the blueprint of kind of how we approach that with a more offense, be able to consistently move the ball a little more. And we were able to hang with them physical wise, beat them a lot of times. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the blueprint we should build on.
For sure. And I think, and I don't know, and I think one thing, so I do feel like in college you can kind of make these comparisons, they're usually pretty spot on. Um, they were kind of like us last year. They definitely had better answers at quarterback than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they finished like 7-6 or something like that, maybe like 7-5, 8-5, but they like were horrible off the gate. Might have had a loss or two. They didn't have, any business, or made a loss a game or two, they had no business losing. But then they ended up beating Bama like the last game of the season to either become bowl eligible or go like 7-5. So I do feel like some of their stuff was like little injury related, and still he's still kind of rebuilding the roster over there, I guess you could say. But like
Yeah.
I do feel like we're kind of like on a similar like we're a little bit we were just how we were because we didn't have a quarterback. Like you could have
Yes.
gave us anybody, and I think we would at least probably
I
won
just
about
had
nine.
to talk this weekend about if we had Aiden Childs at quarterback last year. I just
Yeah, like we
said
literally
that.
like yeah, or his backup. I really think we would have been able to at least be like nine, give out 9 wins. So that right there kind of tells me like
Yeah,
I
I,
do.
I agree with that, and I think we are in an interesting spot with the squad.
Yeah.
In a big game like this can I mean, we're assuming Oklahoma's is legit as they say they are. I mean, I think they're probably a pretty. We know this is a solid test regardless, but I'm
Hmm.
assuming they're whatever they are, 18 in the country or 14 in the country.
Yeah.
Um,
So I wonder, and not
yeah,
to, because we know what our 34-17, like we know what that looks like, you
mhm.
know. Illinois State, they're not group of five. I think they're like an FCS school. They only beat them 35-3. So I wonder if
Yeah,
I wonder if their fan base is happy with that as we are with how we looked, you know what I'm saying, against New Mexico, New Mexico.
right. No, I agree with you on
But
that. So no, I
yeah.
think you got a score prediction for us?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say 24-19, Michigan. They go in there, run the ball, then we get up a score or two and really just dictate the game from there.
You said 24-19.
Yep.
I like that score. A little funky score. I was trying to. I thought it was gonna be a little kind of funky score too. So that's kind of what I cooked up too. I don't remember all last year. My key to success for these bigger games was 30 points. And I think that is
Okay.
standard still as far as that.
I
So
like that.
I'm going 30-28.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that.
No.
Okay. Cool.
And I feel pretty good about it, man. Big time game Saturday night. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 18-15 will be we're 18. Sorry, we're 15, they're 18. So
Yeah.
that Saturday night, and then hopefully we'll be coming off riding high on that, riding into Saturday Sunday, first set of Sunday games for us this season. We
Yeah.
are what 4:15 kickoff if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
4:25 or whatever it may work out
Yep.
to be. Um,
That
so
prime that good
yep,
Sunday primetime slot.
yep. So Packers arch enemy, uh, Michael Parsons newly arrived. Shots might be coming in back to play. Who who? So kind of all things considered, man. How do you feel about the squad? You know,
Feel
in kind
good.
of the first game in this what's going to be a hell of a season as far as obstacles and teams we got to play and where we're going on the road to and all that good stuff and just kind of um ready to watch the boys go fight again. So
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I feel good. I feel great. I echo. I mean, Dan Campbell said, "Feel this is the best roster he's has is being here," and I strongly agree. I think, yeah, it's gonna be a good season. It's being battle tested. Um, it's gonna be one that's gonna be a hell of a season to enjoy. Um, and I like where we are. We're kind of positioned now, just kind of being the underdog, to where a lot of people are writing us off just because a couple things here and there, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how they respond to just a lot of the changes in the off season.
right. No, man, I agree. It is a big. This is what year 4 for Campbell.
I
Um,
think going into year five.
Going
Yep,
to year
going into year
5.
five.
So yeah, so I
Yep.
think we, he's grown. We've grown with him. He's grown with us. We know, we kind of know where we're getting there. Obviously, a couple of coaching changes on the assistant wise. A little bit of change up on the offensive line. Um, you know, defense still little bit of an injury bug, but a lot of players back as well. Biggest stat prize there being Hutch. So I think this first week here, man, hey, I'm super pumped for it. Get out the gate with a team that is, we it's one of the things where I always hated playing the Packers growing up, and now it's kind of the tables turn a little bit, where it's kind of like, okay,
Looking forward to it.
the it's a change up there, man. So I guess I don't know, man. I want to see what are your thoughts on I guess our cohesiveness of the offensive line going into week one. I think that for me that'd probably be the biggest question mark on there is just
Hmm.
how's that line going to look? Insert the rookie, remove all pro and Ragnow. Kind of I
Yeah,
guess what do you think that'll look like? And kind of just being a man down. I don't think Dan Skipper's got back yet. So we got a new face in there as well. So I think there's a little bit of a change up as far as the what we're used to on that line.
yeah, and I think, yeah, for me, I'm gonna be a little biased. We got Graham Glasgow. center, Michigan man. Back where he played center quite a bit at Michigan earlier in his NFL career. So feel okay about that. Obviously it's gonna be a little bit of a drop off. I like Mahogany. Left guard. He played a little bit last year, graded pretty well, according to PFF, graded pretty well in the couple games he played. So you would hope that, and that was not have he was sick, didn't have a full training camp or anything. So now he's got a full training camp, another year in the system. I think we'll be good there. And I mean, they say Tate Ratledge. I mean, you can't even tell he's a rookie. Hey, Woodward Sports might be on to something. To me, he might be a Pro Bowler. But no, I mean, I think, obviously, I think there's going to be a little bit of drop off. There's going to be some continuity that needs to be, or yeah, just some gelling, getting in sync with each other. That's going to have to happen in real time. May not be who we think we are going to be first couple weeks, but I still think we got enough to, get the job done. And yeah, and I think anytime you got the amount of weapons we got on offense, um, I think we'll be able to take that and be able to use it to our advantage in some way, shape, or form in order to help bring them along and gel along as the season goes along.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on with the fact that it will grow as the season goes along. And I think that is, I think, a big development of what our true success in the season will be. Is it might not be as sexy as last year. It might not, it probably would definitely not be 15-2 again. I feel
Yeah,
pretty sure to say that. But we could be a much better, healthier,
11 and six.
metaphorically and physically team. As far as if we manage this a little differently and we take the time to get players healthy and we're we obviously want to go out and beat teams every week, but we also do have that underdog mindset, which I think is potentially escaped us a little bit last year. And I think there could be a little bit of that coming back this year as far as just that schedule and what people are saying as far as the offensive line breakup and but I do think the offensive line will grow as the season goes along, and that'd be something where we are sitting back looking that we're healthy. We're thankful that we have younger guys in there because they're staying healthier longer, or whatever that case may look like. Second big question I was going to say is not having that other bookend. I would Jazarius Smith is still not signed.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, something I'd be just outright. I just don't want to. I don't know what the holdup is there. I don't know if it's on our end or if it's on his end or if it's somewhere mutual in the middle there. But I think that I would have loved to have seen that get done by now. And I mean, even if he signs right now today, he probably ain't playing by on Sunday. So it's to the point now where we don't have that other bookend, and that is concerning to me.
Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, Marcus Davenport. Yeah, I mean, no. So I mean, we probably got 4 weeks to figure it out, but we got 4 weeks. We got um, I
I do feel like we'll be a trade deadline, like, go
yeah
get somebody for that sixth round pick we just got from Jacksonville for Tim Patrick.
yeah no, and I think Clowney's out there. I wouldn't mind Clowney. Maybe you can pick up the phone and give him a call. I think Smith and Clowney little combo would not be bad at all. Smith playing 50, let's say 60%, Clowney coming in, just playing cleanup duty, only attack the
Oh, you
quarterback.
get you get
Yeah.
greedy. You get
Hey, you got the money out there.
yeah.
That's what you got to do, though. You got to load that arsenal up to go win the game.
I
And I
feel
think it's a
you.
long season.
I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but no, man, I think those are my two question marks that I have, and I just want to see how the team will respond to just the change up on that and the D line. I think is already the offensive line. I think is something that will grow. The D line is something I have a question mark until further notice, as far as until we bring somebody in or you know somebody falls from the heavens that we just are on the team we didn't know about. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So obviously we got the clock running here. What's your score prediction?
They're gonna come out, we're gonna run the football, we're gonna let Jimmy pull the top off. I think we're gonna win 30 to 23.
Okay, this one is tough for me, bro.
For you.
But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pick them to lose. but I'm going to walk off field goal 24-21.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a scare, wake up call, but we're gonna get it done.
Hey, yeah, I feel like, and that's I'll take a little scare of the division dub.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Jared Goff said they count as two on the road. So this would be a good one to get.
Yeah.
Start the season off right. Because then we got Benedict Johnson and them stepping in there for a field in 2 weeks. So
Yeah. Man, you gonna man,